The name of the cacao, Theobroma cacao. Theo means gods, power, food for the gods. That is cacao. We are goddess and gods. Why not to go in passion with this master plan? I call master plan, which means can bring us to the ecstasies. That is the quality of the master plans.
Hello and welcome to the Herbs with Rosalee podcast, a show exploring how herbs heal as medicine, as food, and through nature connection. I'm your host, Rosalee de la Forêt. I created this YouTube channel to share trusted herbal wisdom so that you can get the best results when relying on herbs for your health. I love offering up practical knowledge to help you dive deeper into the world of medicinal plants and seasonal living. Each episode of the Herbs with Rosalee podcast is shared on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast app. Transcripts and recipes for each episode can be found at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com or through the link in the video description. Also in the video description, you'll find other helpful resources. For example, to get my best herbal tips, as well as fun bonuses, be sure to sign up for my weekly herbal newsletter. Okay, grab your cup of tea and let's dive in. It was such an honor to sit down with Rocio for this conversation. You're going to hear how Rocio was raised in community with the plants, which is something I know many of us wish we had experienced. You'll hear how she finally managed to get her formal education despite a lot of prejudice against traditional knowledge, and how she was a pioneer really in helping to really get involved with traditional communities, and her deep love of things like cacao and hummingbirds. For those of you who don't already know her, Dr. Rocio Alarcón has a Ph.D. in ethnopharmacology from UCL and is the director of the IAMO Center in the Ecuadorian Amazon. Rocio is a curandera, ethnopharmacologist, and ethnobotanist who has spent over 40 years working with ethnic groups in the tropical rainforest, the Andes Mountains of Ecuador, and in the Basque Country of Spain. She practices and teaches the art and science of curandero and shamanic healing ceremonies, a knowledge that she received from both her mother and grandmother. She was born in the Andes of Ecuador at the foot of the Pichincha volcano. Rocio has published many important offerings, including the oracle cards, messages from the hummingbirds. She offers workshops for different organizations and universities around the world. You can find more about her offerings, including her life-changing trips to Ecuador, on her website at www.iamoe.org. Rocio has a beautiful and strong accent, so I want to remind you that you can find the written transcript on the show notes page, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can choose to have the subtitles show. Rocio also shows some images during the conversation, but if you're listening rather than watching, I think you'll still understand. Rocio, I'm so excited that you're here on the show. Thanks for joining us all the way from England.
Good morning, good evening, who knows, in all the planet. And thank you very much, Rosalee, for this invitation. For me, it's a honor to be in your program, and really good to hear your voice, sharing the knowledge of the people, putting the communities who love plants together, and to understand how important are the plants. Thank you very much for that activity that you are doing.
Oh, Rocio, thank you. The honor is truly mine. I've been really excited to see you and hear your teachings. And and I'd love to start of hearing your story of your plant path and the ways that things have woven to bring you here with us today.
Well, I say that I didn't have choice. I born in a family that my grannies loved the plants, and coming from a special country called Ecuador, that tiny country that is the same size than probably Colorado State, but having the most fantastic biodiversity, average 25,000 different species of plants. My God. And different cultural groups that love plants and live and love and develop an incredible partnership with the plants. So I didn't have choice, and my life began when I born, and my grannies decided to teach me about the uses of the plants and for different activities for women, for different conditions, and loving them into the farm, planting, and after saying, look how the transformation, they are magic. Look, now we are going to eat the corn because we have different varieties of corns. And they say, do you want something black, yellow? Tell me, what color do you love?
Hmm.
And I remember my granny always harvesting the corn when it was very dry, and after with a special instrument made with timber, she opened and put in different baskets. I didn't understand at that period. And we put in the same baskets, and she said, don't, because from each part of the corn, we need to divide for different preparations. That
Hmm.
was magic to
Hmm.
sit and we eat as a family together, and the children always sit with the elders with baskets, and we were how say peeling the from the big fruit of the corn and putting in different parts for the chickens, for humans, for the pigs, for planting.
Hmm.
She was doing very fast, in which we were putting in different baskets, and Granny said no. And that is a way how we were learning. And at the
Hmm.
same time, when we were in holidays, the time to harvest the wheat or to harvest the different cereals, quinoa, and how the people singing and singing, harvesting.
Hmm.
Ha 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 ha, with the horses breaking from the big stems, the the barley or the wheat, and the
Hmm.
animals just breaking and the people singing, and after preparing a nice food for all the community.
Hmm.
So that's the way how I was learning the plants, and I love it. I love it.
Hmm. That those stories are such a wonderful example of deep ancestral knowledge that, to know the corn so well that it's not just corn, but all of these
No,
different ways of working with the corn and separating the corn and also the community involvement of the harvest as well.
definitely. And the songs in the Quichua mother tongue uh, uh, during the Inca period, when the Incas arrived to my country only 100 years before the conquistadores, and they imposed the Quichua language. So we are part of I am mestizo, the mix of the indigenous with the white. And I was sitting with them, with the indigenous, and eating the different ways of preparing the food. Amazing, like lupinus, these blue flowers and the fruits, and it's a legume, and how they they dry these vines, and after Granny was um, opening and obtaining this fantastic bean, really is a bean that has piles of calcium for women,
Mhm.
and the process how they prepare to allow us to eat, because some of the plants are poison, but in the relationship between humans and plants and the coevolution, they learn how to remove that toxicities and allow the plants at the service of the humans
Mhm.
to be eaten for us. So we were learning that how to wash this, how long washing in water for 2 3 days after cooking, and Granny always touching, and part of that water she was saving to kill parasites in the pigs or in the horses.
Mhm.
Amazing,
It is
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, I have
Yes.
lupins where I live and they cover the hillsides. They're so beautiful, but the knowledge of how to use them is, what I thought was lost because that what's said now is that maybe we can use them, maybe they can't, but they're probably poisonous. And so it's good to hear of this, again, ancestral lineage and deep knowledge of these plants.
Yes, I am women that I born in the Andes Mountains at the feet of the Pichincha volcano. So the people there, we call chocho, this lupinus, and how the grannies prepare and the people prepare, and you can find in the markets. I hope that never we lost that ancestral knowledge. That I'm happy now is changing for, for very fast food.
Mhm.
Instead of eating, usually we were eating this bean,
Mhm.
cook the bean after moving all the toxicities, eating with corn, that we call
Mm.
tostado, tostado with chocho. My God, delicious, fantastic,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
full vitamins, full
Mhm.
calcium, full minerals. So that was
Mm.
my diet when I was young and I was a little girl growing in the area, in the gardens, in the farm, and living with the people there together.
And so, Rocio, you grew up with surrounded by a community that loved plants. You grew up learning from your granny and your mom and your community.
Yes.
And then you decided to get a PhD. What was that like,
Well,
the decision to?
well, when I was 18, I decided to move. Always, I love tropical areas. When
Mhm.
I was young, even a girl, my family had land in the subtropical region, and I went there at the same time, and I saw how magic these plants in a very nice weather, and learning at the same time with the local people. And one day I decided when I was 18, well, I want to study plants. And I went to the university in my country, and I decided to go to the Amazonia. My parents almost died. Remember at that period, no good transportation, no Wi-Fi, no phones, nothing.
Yeah.
Just so my parents decided to go with me, and my dad was driving his little truck, and we were crossing the Cordillera, and I saw like a, oh my God, all that sea, green sea in front of
Mm.
me,
Mm.
and I felt that my heart was so happy watching these beautiful trees, brutal, enormous trees. So I said, Dad, I want to be there and I want to learn with the
Mhm.
people there. So we arrived at the most tiny little town called Misawaji, and I decided to stay there. Oh my God, my parents, my mom crying. She said, I will stay with you. How you are going to be here? How that people, and I say, Mom, I loved it. And I speak the local language. I speak Quechua for my granny. So will be simple. Well, it wasn't simple, but really, I found some friends who helped me. And immediately I jumped in a canoe and I went with these Quechua families. And after I met with the Guaranis, the last hunters, fascinate,
Mhm.
fascinate. And that was the beginning to do my first dissertation. Number one, about the ethnobotany of the Quichuas of the Alto Napo, High Napo.
Mm.
And, I finished after 3 years living there.
Wow.
And I arrived to the university. I present really my dissertation. And we have a new species for science. It was a quite different dissertation. And one of the tutors told me, this is not science. I'm
Hmm.
talking about 40 years ago, maybe more. And they say, this is not science. You are not going to graduate. That was uh, that was a devastation for my parents and
Mm.
of course for me. All
Mhm.
my classmates, they were doing research into the laboratory, etc. But I was one of the probably one or two people who decided to study in the field, and my thesis was pioneer in studies about uses of the plants
Hmm.
in the Amazonia. And I say, I don't care. Of course, I was very sad.
Mhm.
And I say, I don't care. I'm going to the jungle. Bye. And I went to the jungle and I disappeared there. I didn't want to know about anything. And I decided to stay there, living with the local communities and sometimes teaching in the school and doing activities that I loved, working in the farms, working with cacao, learning how to prepare different plants. At that period, ayahuasca, nobody knew it.
Hmm.
And I wrote in my dissertation. And at the same time, this other dragon blood, I was pioneer describing the uses of these plants, and
Hmm.
no science, no good. Gosh.
Hmm.
So I disappeared in the jungle. And of course, my family is so worried. I called them from a little tiny area that they offer only one single telephone and waiting all day to make contact with the city. And I say, Mom, I'm okay. And she said, please, would you like to come back? We miss you. So I made the trip. It was like 12 hours traveling, like flying from UK to Ecuador. So I went
Wow.
with more plants, with collection of plants. And some of my friends called me and say, congratulations, Rocio. And I say, for what? They already graduate, and I didn't. And they say, Rocio, do you know that people publish your dissertation? I say, what? Yes. I say, are you joking? Yes, and they are looking for you. They say that then you need to sign the agreement. But already, your tutor from your dissertation, already he decided to publish it because it's pioneer. Your dissertation is pioneer here in Ecuador. I say, no, I, I don't care.
Hmm.
So the dean of the university, this lady called me and said, Rocio, come on. It was only one person who disappointed with your dissertation. The rest, we agree. You have high marks. Please
Hmm.
sign to graduate. So I signed and I graduated.
Hmm.
And of course, it was the first dissertation that was published in my country with the support of Aarhus University at that period from
Hmm.
Denmark. And
Hmm.
that was good. And we have just maybe 2 years ago a meeting from the old group who graduated in those periods. And one of my classmates, he was very kind, and he said, Rocio, it was so good that you were the pioneer of the ethnobotanic studies in Ecuador. You are the
Hmm.
pioneer. Made
Hmm.
me cry. Made
Mhm.
me cry. And of course, I
Hmm.
dedicate to the local people and to my granny because um, the university was so good, but never at the level of learning with the local people in the
Hmm.
real university, the
Mhm.
forest.
Mhm. That's what struck me about that story, Rocio, is that, you got that terrible feedback from that one person and you were just like, "I'll be in the jungle then." I'm going back to the real world and the real university. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And after I decided for reasons I married, and for reasons with my family, we came to UK. And believe me, all the time I tried to study English, to learn English during the time of my husband here. And the teacher always say, Rocio, what do you want to do? And I say, maybe I want to do a master. And she said, did you apply at the university? No. That how is going to do? And I say, I don't know. Somebody will come and invite me.
Hmm.
She said, that's very strange coming from English people.
Mhm.
And believe me, I was here, and we have a little difficult time in trying to save the life of my family, and we stayed here, and we were under the asylum process, and somebody invited me to offer a talk in a university, in London University. And after that, other person give me a call and say, Rocio, are you Rocio, the ethnobotanist who live in this little town in UK? And I say, yes. And he say, I'm sorry, in 2 hours, my tutor from the university is coming to visit me here at Market Harborough, which is the name of this town. And he said, do you like to come? And I said, yes. After all the time in stress and political issues, I say, of course, yes, some oxygen in my life. And I decided to bring my publications in science, uh, and I brought. And I arrived. It was two people there. And I say, my God, I know this person. And he say, I'm the tutor of the person who invited you. Nice to meet you. And he say, what do you want to do in your life? And I say, maybe I want to study a master. And he say, you make these publications in science. And I say, yes. Did you bring for me? Well, I bring for the person who invited me, but if you want it. And he say, okay, they are very good publications. And he said, you will hear about me soon. Believe me, after 3 months, I say, I forgot. And somebody invited me to visit my country. We didn't have job. We were in such a difficult period, and already we have the English citizen accepted, and I was ready to move and to travel. But of course, going to my country, a high risk. And I say to my husband, and one friend of my husband came to visit. He's here in the house. And he said to my husband, I will love to invite you and your wife to visit Ecuador because I want to know Ecuador. And my husband said, no, it's very high risk for our lives. And I said, you know what? I'm going. If the people there kill me, I will die. It's so long time that I don't know in the forest. And I began to cry. But I say to this person, you know, Christian, I don't have money and I don't have anything. And he say, we will pay your ticket and we will be sure that you are safe. So I was in heaven. But the next day, my tutor called me and say, Rocio, you won the position of the fellowship to do your Ph.D. because I had an interview. And I said, what? Yes, you won the position. 39 students and you were the top. And I say, what I need to do? And he said, you need to visit the Basque Country. Oh my God, where is that? And he said, okay, you need to come. And I said, Michael, I'm sorry, I'm going to my country. And I will come back in 2 months. And he said, what? Yes, I'm sorry. I need my country. And he said, okay, I will wait 2 months. But after you need to travel to the Basque Country. Okay. I went to Ecuador and I was so scared for the threats that we had before. I went to the monastery, a place that is safe for me, and we were traveling in the jungle, and it was fantastic. No risks in that area, nothing. The only day that I stay in the city, in the monastery, they say, Rocio, we are going to the city, to the downtown, and I say, no, I need to protect my life. I will stay in the monastery, and I will wait for both of you. They went, I stay in my own, and the nuns approached me and said, Rocio, come to eat with some people that are here. Let's go to eat with us. So I went to eat with them, and I heard one of the ladies who say, I sit close to a lady, and she said, where are you from? And I said, from Ecuador. And I said, where are you from? And she said, from the Basque Country. What? And she said, yes. And immediately I say, I need to go, and on and on. And she said, I'm a widow. I live in the Basque Country, and I will wait for you in the airport. When are you going? And I say, in 3 months. And she said, okay, this is my phone number. Call me, and I live in my own, and you will stay in my flat.
Wow.
How is that? How is that? So I stayed in Ecuador, and after I came back, and my tutor immediately called me and said, are you ready to go? Don't talk to me. I'm ready. I'm arriving to a house of this person. And he said, how did you make the arrangement? And I said, Michael, I need to go to Ecuador to meet with this person who was doing a volunteer activity in my country. And she will wait for me in the Basque Country in the airport. And that was the beginning to be pioneer in the study of the uses of the plants in the Basque Country, in the area of Victoria. And all the people, they're fantastic, just amazing. And I didn't drive, and they were helping me with the transportation, staying in the houses, and we discovered how incredible amount of uses of the plants. It was fascinating how the people use the plants there, and the love for the farms, for the way how they prepare the food for the community. Amazing.
Hmm.
So I have a publication about that too, about the uses of the plants in that area. That's how I obtained my PhD in ethnopharmacology.
Wow. Well, it's no surprise to me that you have so many magical connections in your life, Rocio. Thank you for sharing that with us. And
Thank you
I'm
very
really
much.
excited to hear about cacao from you. I'm so glad that you chose that as your plant. Such an amazing, special plant. And yeah, where would you like to start with cacao?
Well, I prepared a little PowerPoint presentation because I love that everybody knows cacao. We have cacao in our center in the forest in the Amazonian, and we have the most incredible quality of cacao, and you will know why. Here is Ecuador, my lovely country, this red dot. And here is the country divided in three regions, in four regions, really. I will show the Amazonian area, the border with Peru, the Andes Mountains with the Cordillera, changing the weather and creating these magnificent little climbs to grow incredible variety of species. And we have the coastal region, the sea, how rich is the sea, and Galapagos Island. That is the country. Tiny and rich in diversity environments. It's the country of the mountains, as I'm saying, the same size of Colorado State, but within a big number of species, as I mentioned before. So in this country, I put this title, Sacred Nourishment, Guilty Pleasure for Humans. That is the meaning of cacao for me.
Mm.
That plant that break the boundaries of America from Mexico, called Mesoamerica, and from Ecuador, where recently, 14 years ago, archaeologists discovered in the south of the Amazonian that it was tombs with cacao grains, 5,000 years old.
Wow.
And so we have
Wow.
two centers of cacao for coming into the America, the area of Mesoamerica and the area of Ecuador, in the area of the Amazonian. So that is the beauty and the rich how the people, according with this new discovery, how the people exchange the cacao in America and create and manage the most fantastic relationship between humans and cacao in that area. They didn't know, or probably they knew it, that in the future cacao will be in all the planet, producing the most pleasure and healing process in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have in our farm, is one of our incredible person who managed the garden there, and showing one of the qualities, one of the cacao. The name of the cacao, Theobroma cacao. Theo means gods, power, food for the gods. That is cacao. We are goddess and gods. Why not to go in passion with this master plan? I call master plan, which means can bring us to the ecstasies. That is the quality of the master plants, and have some alkaloids. In the physical, has some alkaloids like theobromine. Theobromine is the substance that is similar, the neurotransmitter into the brain that produce changes in our brain. How a plant can have the same structure like our transmitters in the brain? That is a fantastic coevolution between humans and
Mm-hmm.
plants.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is important cacao in our culture? It's fantastic in different levels. Ritualistic, we have rituals, and I'm going to share about the ritual. Religion, in some areas, cacao is represent agaves that give power to the people. Medicine, food, and for industrial activities. That's the meaning of as much as we know, but it's more than that. Keep together the families, keep together the grannies, the different generations together during the preparation of cacao. So let's see here, we are in Yamoe Center, and we have one of our lovely friends, students, doing a simple ritual of the cacao. And look, this cacao that I'm showing here is completely different than the other cacaos. It's a high top tree with fruits hanging.
Hmm.
And we save. So in our center, we save different varieties of cacao to like preserving the ancestral knowledge, and at the same time the varieties that
Hmm.
the young generations deserve to receive. And of course, learning different ceremonies. And here you have the cacao other variety, different size, different colors, and that is the country with different qualities. The cacao that is the aromatic, a lot of theobromine, comparing with other cacaos, is one of our cacao in Yamoe Center. And I'm not advertising, but we work in the laboratory to compare with other cacaos. And this cacao that is coming from the south of my country, from the area where they found the tombs, has the high level of theobromine, which means that make the people feel very, very happy.
Hmm.
So that is the power of cacao, make us feel so happy.
Hmm.
And I wanted to show this because it's important to know the fruit and to
Mhm.
understand that inside of that yellow, like the sun, the fruit, inside we have the seeds that needs to have a process to be ready to prepare the cacao beverage.
Mhm. Oh, thank you for sharing that with us, Rocio. And you also shared a recipe with us, and I'd love to hear more about the recipe, the the chocolate beverage.
Yes, I wanted to offer this recipe, which is very simple, but bring us the memories of the grannies. I don't know if still keep doing the families, but we have, when we were children, we have in the school two times, in the morning and in the afternoon. So we were going to the school, come back home to have the lunch, and after come back to the school in the afternoon. Eh, excuse me. And we arrive home, let's say at 4:30, and Granny or the mothers always preparing the cacao for us. A
Mhm.
beverage. We can smell the cacao just coming even in the street.
Mhm.
So the first impression, the aroma. So we were, oh my God, Granny is here, is preparing the cacao, delicious. So we arrived home, and Granny was preparing in a special container. Uh, that special container made by bronze have exotic designs. It's long, and we call chocolatera. I don't know if I can find translation for that. I don't know, but we call chocolatera. Beautiful. And the instrument to make the movements needs to be made by timber,
Mhm.
not with metals, because grannies always say, and even other people, of course, in my city and in the town, they say the metal changed the taste and doesn't make the foam. And so
Mhm.
has like different parts at the end, and allowed us to how say
You like to
to
whisk
move.
it, yeah,
Yes,
to foaming,
exactly, with
yeah.
the cacao. So what they use at that period, you can find in the market what people now call dark cacao, 100%.
Mhm.
At that period, we knew it, that is good quality of cacao. Or maybe we were in the subtropical regions harvesting, and we bought from the local people. And we bought 2 or 3 of these circular cacao, blocks of cacao. And Granny just grain and put you have 3 choices. One is that you can put, let's say, in a liter of, could be water or could be milk, depending in different regions, or could be coconut milk. My granny usually prepare with sometimes part. half and a half coconut milk with water.
Mm.
And she melted the cacao into the coconut milk with water. And she was doing this movement and singing a song. And she was saying, si quieren saber, señores, cómo se hace el chocolate, se lo bate y se lo bate, se lo bate y se lo bate. That means, do you want to know, ladies and gentlemen, how I'm doing chocolate? You need to move. I don't know how to say bate. Means moving and moving and moving and moving, because you need such a strong strength to move and to produce foam. So, and immediately a lot of foam in the top, and the smell, the aroma, fantastic. So she allowed the chocolate to cook very well. Very well. Maybe I will say like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Doing this movement all the time in low heat, because that is coming booming and wants to go out in this special container. When it was almost ready, she has two choices. One is she can add cinnamon, 1 or 2 sticks of cinnamon. That is one. And the other is that she can add espingo, what we call, I can find information called like the cinnamon of America. So these leaves of espingo, they are similar. These cinnamons, these two plants have are relatives into the same family and the same genus. But espingo, the scientific name is Ocotea quijos. Quijos in honor of the indigenous who live in the region of the Amazonian, because this espingo is growing only in that areas. And it's such incredible aroma. It's delicious. It smells like cinnamon. And it's so healthy. Now science discovered, well, the indigenous already in the grannies, they knew it, that is good against diabetes. Padua University has very good research about that. So my granny, they always put 2 or 3 leaves of espingo before leaving and put there to obtain the essential oils and the aroma. So she put in a special container the chocolate. We call chocolate, and you have 2 choices. One is that you can put baby cheese in the top, and that melted. Oh my God, we were eating. Yes. The number one is usually granny put little amount of melaza, but depending in each person. I didn't like so much sweet, but most of my friends or my relatives, they love melaza. So granny put, before even moving from the fire, she had a piece of melaza, black sugar. We call panela. And it's delicious, very healthy. So, and after granny, she put the cheese on the table, and we can put the cheese. I tell you, we got crazy with that preparation. Oh my God. And that's one choice. The other that I love it, and still now even my granddaughter here in UK, always I need to bring for her, is that we prepare a powder from barley, cebada, barley. We toast the barley. You can find that in my country. We toast the barley, and after grain, and it's a powder, and we put into the chocolate when it's hot, and you just prepare that paste, and you eat that paste.
As a paste and not as a beverage, then.
Yes, could be if you want heavy, you make heavy. I love heavy paste. But if you don't want, you put liquid, not so much powder. Delicious. I tell you, that was our afternoon before the dinner. And after that, when we finished that, Granny say, okay, she say stories, And after, okay, guys, you are ready to do the homeworks. Of course, we have such an energy to do the homeworks.
Hmm.
It is a tonic, really, for the brain.
Yeah.
And I hope that we don't lose that. Now I don't hear so much, but that was our after school preparation. Always we have that in the afternoon during the time that the 5 days in the school, day by day.
Hmm. What a beautiful gift to prepare that for you every afternoon. And that's
Yeah.
interesting about the toasted barley. I was just in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, and there they make atole with the masa. So they make your hot chocolate with corn, kind of similar. And it creates such a like a I mean, it's really a snack. I mean, it's like this
Yes.
incredibly nourishing filling, and I'd be interested to try it with the barley, the toasted barley too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Before the barley, before the conquistadores, because the barley arrived from Europe, the indigenous groups, they were preparing with corn. They
Mhm.
have the powder of a specific corn. It's not whatever corn.
Mhm.
And Granny was doing for my mom,
Mhm.
and they were preparing and eating in that way because barley, she said, was very expensive at that period. So of course, they were even my mom. She loves with the powder of corn. Yeah,
Mhm.
delicious, delicious.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all of that about cacao and the beverage. And for those of you who want to download the recipe, you can do so at herbswithrosalieepodcast.com. And Rocio, you have so many beautiful offerings in the world. I want to be sure that people know about them. So I want to talk about your oracle deck with the hummingbirds, and I also want to talk about your trips that are coming up as well. So wherever you would like to start, Rocio.
Thank you very much. One of my promise to my granny was to write the the oracle of the hummingbirds.
Mm,
And because she loves hummingbirds, and she put a lot of trumpet flowers in the area where she was living, called Nono. uh, and we have very old trees at the moment that all the hummingbirds are going there, most of the hummingbirds with long beak, and and enjoying with the flowers. So Granny showed me the incredible qualities that the hummingbirds have and the love for them. So during the pandemic drama, I was in Ecuador and we were in four walls in a flat because we were supposing to come to UK and impossible. So for me it was difficult. But through the window, I saw in the middle of the street flowers there in the hummingbirds going there, and I can hear singing and chirping there. And I say, guys, I think that it's time to write the oracle of the hummingbirds. And I talked to the hummingbirds, and they came uh, calling my attention to the window. And I say, okay, let's go to do. And that is how began the, the, the story of the oracle of the hummingbirds, writing about the quality of America. America, that is the continent that where you can find only there the hummingbirds.
mhm,
We have that such incredible privilege to be from America and to have the most specific spiritual beings that can heal us and can bring energy for the plants. And I write the oracle of the cards and dedicate for, of course, for America,
mm,
for the north in Alaska, coming down to the Patagonia. And that is the meaning of join all the humans together like the hummingbirds. And because hummingbirds make love with the plants in an
mm,
incredible coevolution, and how
mhm,
they can change the peak, can change the colors, can change, and the flowers the same. They say, okay, I can live with you and you with me, and they
mhm,
make love together
mhm,
to transform the landscapes. My God,
mhm,
is amazing. And how hummingbirds can bring the energy of the sun for us as
mhm,
a rainbow of lights to
mhm,
heal our anxiety. How hummingbirds can shut the energy to us, and we are thinking only in the now because they are so much fast and so much beauty and colors that we don't have time to have our worries and things like that. No, just the light of the hummingbirds coming to us. So yes, and I love it to write and to dedicate to all the people. And some friends here in UK or in Europe, they say, we don't have hummingbirds here. And I say, you have the flowers.
Hmm.
Hummingbirds love rosemary, sage, all these plants that went to America. And the hummingbirds love it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my theory is that if you have a rosemary has incredible properties, just to give a name, have incredible properties. What is happening if the hummingbirds are visiting your garden? They are adding more energies for the flowers. And we can enjoy in Europe with that seeds and with that flowers for a tea and bringing the spiritual side through the meditation, the vibration of the hummingbirds.
Mm-hmm.
So they are ready for all of us. For all of us, I saw incredible miracles with the hummingbirds. And thank you to the people who bought the oracle cards, because with that money we want to create the forest in the land of my granny, to reintroduce again hummingbirds in that area, and to create one of the healing centers with hummingbirds. And I invite all the people in America to dream, because one of my dreams is to see, before I'm going to another dimension, to see the path of the hummingbirds from the north to the south in America. And you, all the people going there to with freedom, to be healed and to receive the energy of the hummingbirds, and have different healing centers, and all of us working together for all the continents.
Mm-hmm.
Going there and walking and enjoying watching the incredible diversity of hummingbirds that we have in America. Average, I would say 347 or maybe more different species of hummingbirds. But Ecuador has, in that tiny size that is the country, we have almost 50% of the all the hummingbirds.
Oh, wow.
It is a brutal amazing.
Yeah.
Why not America, the land of the hummingbirds? America, the land that joined all of us together in love and in the process of healing our sadness. That's the dream, and that's why I wrote the oracle cards.
Hmm. Oh, it's a beautiful vision and a beautiful dream, Rocio. I also love hummingbirds. I often joke that I just plant my garden for the hummingbirds because everything I look for, that's herbal or non-herbal, whatever I'm planting flowers, I'm always looking to make sure that it's something that the hummingbirds will like because I love having them around everywhere. We only have 4 species where I live, but I love them all.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
and I don't want to put out the sugar water. And so, but I want them to have food and I want them to be around us. So I plant the flowers just every possible
Yes, yes.
place. And our house, I gave our house a name and I named it Le Chalet des Colibris, which is French for a hummingbird cabin. Yeah, I'll put a picture of that sign in the on the YouTube for people to see. But that's just a beautiful, beautiful vision that you have with your oracle cards. And I know that they come highly recommended. I was just listening to you on Rosemary Gladstar's new podcast,
Oh,
Voices of Our Elders. It's a wonderful episode. And I loved how Rosemary said that she pulls a card every day when she wakes up in the morning. So I
yes.
can't think of a
Yes.
better endorsement.
Yes,
And
me
you
too.
and you have some trips coming up, which I know these trips are life-changing. I was just reading my friend Beth Ebbing Johnson was writing about her trips with you. And yes, I'd love to I want people to know about them, what they are and when they are and how they can find out more information.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we have usually I like to organize two workshops for in Ecuador, and one is in our center in Yamoe Center that is in the Amazonian. Uh, it's will begin 29 of January, and we will keep for let's say 12 days. where we will live in the center, and we will have a cultural exchange with the local people. We are so lucky to live in the center of high level of biodiversity, which is we are located in the buffer zone of the Yasuni National Park, which is a heritage of the planet, really. And we live in the buffer zone. What we can find there, it's so fantastic in the way that is one of the high level of biodiversity of trees. We were doing research and we found 257 different species of trees in 1 hectare, and we work doing, yes, and you can imagine and each tree has maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 different uses. So to keep that and to work with the local communities, that's why I organize these trips that really support to save this piece of high level of biodiversity in that area, which is not easy. It is quite it's a challenge, and if people is going, they are supporting our dream to keep safe that area and to say that the how the people work, and to offer workshops for the people there, especially the women who live there around Yamoe Center. Our neighbors are the Quichua communities, the Guaranes, the Shuar, and Mestizo. So a rich cultural area at the same time. So people who wants to join us, still we are in the early bird, and what we are going to offer? We are going to offer how to prepare different medicine with the master plants. What are the doses that are good for us? What is the spiritual and physical ecology of that master plants? And when I say master plants, we will talk about 3 or 4 different master plants, talking about cacao. We have cacao there. We will harvest the cacao and we'll drink the juice of the cacao. Fantastic. We will go to the other dimension, just drinking and purifying our body. We use with wild cacao from the forest, and we will collect that cacao. So have this possibility and to enjoy with the wisdom that offered to be there, walking under the canopy of the trees. Already, there are many research, especially with the Japanese people, about how we can be very healthy walking under the canopy of the trees. How they can transform, the trees can transform our energies in the emotional side. And of course, we will work in the spiritual side with the local people. We will have healing ceremonies, limpia ceremonies. We will travel in canoes going to specific clay areas to purify our bodies and work with the local people and visit the different areas. So that and the time will go very fast. So that is for healing the healers. We call healing the healers.
Healing the healers. That sounds beautiful.
Yes. And the other is in the highland, in the valleys of the Andes Mountains, where we will have the possibility to watch the hummingbirds. We will learn the mantras, how to call the hummingbirds in the spiritual side. Many students, when they arrive there and they are covering hummingbirds, calling with the mantras, they are in ecstasy. They say,
Wow.
how is this? And they can feel the tiny wings just touching you, kissing you. The peaks sometimes coming and covering, depending the areas that we need to be healed. And calling them, and that's how Granny teach me, and calling them and coming and covering you, and you learn the qualities of the different species of hummingbirds. So that is a simple example what we are going to do in the second trip. That is, I think that is the 12th of February, and finish in 21st of February. So these are the 2 workshops that, and some people maybe ask, is the same than the last year? I never offered the same. Always it's so nice because we are a dynamic with the plants. And always the plants, they have incredible intelligent. They are more smart than us. We need to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
And they change my brain, and we talk and say, okay, you want that? Let's go to do. And each year we change. And this year will be magic in the way to work, transforming plants in energy, in decoration for our bodies, and to make some tattoos using some plants. And yeah.
Well, it sounds very tempting. What a beautiful offering that you have. And I know people they come away from these trips as a different person. And sometimes people do one or the other, and sometimes people do both at the same time because they lead right into the
Yes.
other. So,
Yes,
yeah.
the people who are doing the two workshops, we will cover the time that the differences between the two workshops staying there. We will cover the costs. So here you have the email where you can be in contact with the person in charge of the registration. We still are in the early bird, so do it. And that is our webpage, www.iamoe.org. Iamoe means the Arpija eagle. That is one of the gods of the local tribes. That beautiful eagle that we have in the jungle, flying so high, is white and blue eyes, and my God, amazing creature.
And for those of you listening, the email for more information is discoveriamoe@gmail.com.
Yes.
Rocio, before we go, I have a special question for you.
Yeah.
And it's one that is just in my heart, is that we're living in difficult times right now. I feel like we've been saying that for a while, but it's true. There's a lot of challenges and it can weigh heavy on our hearts. And I'm wondering, what messages of hope do you think the plants have for us?
Well, I think that after many studies for some people in the planet, I think that science is verifying what the elders, for many, many generations, leave us as a legacy. Only plants can save the planet.
Hmm.
And I think that why the plants can save the planet? Because we are not able to live if we don't have food coming from the plants. How many plants we are eating day by day in our lunch or dinner? How many plants? How many plants we use in our homes? Excuse me, the table, the chair, the pen. Still, well, I am dinosaur. I use my pen and I can feel the aroma of the plants.
Hmm.
People enjoy going during the weekends into the parks just to chill out under a tree. Even dogs are going under the tree to do pee. Hummingbirds, birds, and we are so fascinated with that.
Mhm.
And of course, this means that only plants can make difference in our life. Please don't forget them. Don't forget that they are calling us day by day, and we need to hear them to understand how to protect our planet. Remember that we are breathing. For what? For the plants. Because the plants can talk with the sun and can bring organic, organic and easy food for us. Transform the minerals, transform with the light, and make for us the food day by day.
Mhm.
Plants love the sun, but they love between them to save the life of we beings in the planet. So love the plants, and the planet will be okay, and humans very healthy.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Rocio. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all of these stories, and including your story and cacao. And again, it's just really an honor to be able to sit down with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, and thank you very much to your organization, Rosalee, and and keep going with these programs, because we need to learn a lot from different communities, different experiences. Only with this, in this way, that is a way to communicate now, we can learn a lot and we can share later. It's a way to save the ancestral knowledge. Thank you for that. And thank you for the people who have this time sharing with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rocio. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to head over to the show notes at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com to download your beautifully illustrated recipe card and to get a transcript of this show. There you'll also be able to sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is the best way to stay in touch with me. The best way to stay in touch with Rocio is on Facebook and through her website at www.iamoe.org. If you'd like more herbal episodes to come your way, then one of the best ways to support this podcast is by subscribing on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. I deeply believe that this world needs more herbalists and plant-centered folks, and I'm so glad that you're here as part of this herbal community. Also, a big round of thanks to the people all over the world who make this podcast happen week to week. Nicole Paul is the project manager who oversees the whole operation, from guest outreach to writing show notes to actually uploading each episode, and so many other things I don't even know. She really holds this whole thing together. Francesca is our fabulous video and audio editor. She not only makes listening more pleasant, she also adds beauty to the YouTube videos with plant images and video overlays. Tatiana Rusakova is the botanical illustrator who creates gorgeous plant and recipe illustrations for us. I love them. I know that you do too. Christy edits the recipe cards, and then Jenny creates them as well as the thumbnail images for YouTube. Michelle is the tech wizard behind the scenes, and Karen is our student services coordinator and customer support. For those of you who like to read along, Jennifer is who creates the transcripts each week. Xavier, my handsome French husband, is the cameraman and website IT guy. It takes an herbal village to make it all happen, including you. One of the best ways to retain and fully understand something you've just learned is to share it in your own words. With that in mind, I invite you to share your takeaways with me and the entire Herbs with Rosalee community. You can leave comments on my YouTube channel, on the herbswithrosaleepodcast.com show notes page, or simply hit reply to my Wednesday emails. I read every comment that comes in, and I'm excited to hear your herbal thoughts on cacao and hummingbirds and the beautiful teachings of Rocio. Okay, you've lasted to the very end of the show, which means you get a gold star and this herbal tidbit. Well, it was such a pleasure to spend some time with Rocio again. I first met Rocio several years ago at the International Herb Symposium, where she graciously agreed to be a part of our plant documentary series, which we released to people who purchased our book, Wild Remedies. And if you haven't seen that, you can at wildremediesbook.com. So something that struck me back then when I first met Rocio, as well as it did again today, was how much Rocio leads with gratitude. She always starts with gratitude for the people she's with. She shares gratitudes for the plants, gratitudes for the hummingbirds. And this way of heart-centered gratitude is something I want to continue to strengthen in my own life. And I'm thankful for Rocio for inspiring such a living example of such deep gratitude.